All right, folks, what is up? What is going on? And welcome into another episode of America's Hometown Horror. How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks so much for coming back and checking in on us. We know, or you know, that we appreciate that. My name is Mike. I am the host of the show, and as always, I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, Catherine and Andrew. Guys, what's happening?
Greetings from America's Hometown Horror.
Did you manage to chew on and swallow all those chips before you got that out?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all over her shirt now.
Oh, okay, lots of sour cream and onion chips. Kidding. And guys, all I have to say is, yeah, it's my birthday. Why don't you pick up the phone?
Yeah, we're gonna insert
it's my
that.
birthday.
Yeah.
Why don't you leave me alone?
We're gonna insert that little sound clip
I don't know
in this
about
podcast.
that. I don't know if I can
yes,
bear.
we will.
I don't know if I can bear to listen to it one more time that I already did.
Oh, we can. I can put it on. Actually, I have it on my ring.
know.
It's my ringtone actually right now.
Great,
That should-
wonderful.
that should
Well,
be
you
your
don't have to.
ringtone.
All right,
It is. Yeah,
great.
yeah, we
Here
can-
you
we
go.
can put it
Great.
on. We
Go
can put it
ahead.
on. Ready?
Enlighten the listeners. Okay.
That's going to be so loud on the podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Is it?
Yeah, why don't you apologize to all the listeners that just had their eardrums blown out, shoving that into the microphone. Okay, I think we get the gist.
Is it that loud?
Yes, that was very loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, well, anyway, we have a jam-packed episode for you tonight, so why don't we jump right in, and in case you're wondering, here's where you can find us on social media. You can find us on our website at ahpod.com. It's ahhpod.com. You can find us on YouTube. All of our episodes are on there. You can watch them in video form. Just search for America's Hometown Horror. Same thing on Facebook. Search for America's Hometown Horror. You'll find us. You can also tweet at us at Hometown Horror. And you can find us on Instagram, which is where we're the most active by far, at Hometown Horror Pod. And shit, you can even email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And just a reminder that we are now a fully fledged member of horrorfacts.com. If you go to horrorfacts.com, which is a great resource if you're a horror fan for all things horror related, including news, reviews, you can find a dedicated section of their website that will say America's Hometown Horror right on there, and you can even listen to our show right through our friends at horrorfacts.com. So what's been going on, guys? What's new?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I got a nice mullet going on. That's
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like we should probably... So you need a new picture on the website.
I know.
Like you read about... Actually, maybe Kat can take a picture of you tonight,
Yeah,
because
I
you
can
got
do
the
that.
fresh mullet, you got the Creep
the
Show
Creep
I
shirt
mean,
on.
I couldn't look more hillbilly now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's why it's a good opportunity to take a picture of you for that, to be honest.
I agree.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, but...
spooky.
Very spooky.
yeah, for sure. And that shirt, I'm glad I got that for you for Christmas, because it's a dope shirt. That
Oh,
thing's
it's so
sick.
sick.
That's an awesome
I love
little...
this shirt.
The Japanese Creep Show shirt. It's awesome. Good stuff.
Color scheme, fantastic on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we kind of jump into tonight's movie, I should say, if I could only speak, a couple things just to run through really quick before we dedicate, some time to a film that I'm sure there will be lots of opinions on. Hey, so big news. I teased this last week, and I know that we kind of knew about this before the news actually dropped, because we had the opportunity to speak with our buddy Tony from Spooky World, the movie. And if you did not see their announcement last Saturday, which I believe was April 30th, at noon Eastern Time, they made a gigantic announcement, and here's what that announcement was. The movie is no longer known as Spooky World, the movie. It's now going to be called Spooktacular, Behind the Screams of America's Original Horror Theme Park. The film will cover, and this is directly from their Instagram page, by the way, the film will cover David Bertolino's journey from whoopee cushion salesman in his dad and brother's Boston joke shop to his meteoric rise in the Halloween products industry and the creation of the Boston costume iconic superstore, industry expert witness for New Line Cinema, and the creation of America's first Halloween theme park. But that's not the only news we have for it. The moment that has been 3 years in the making has finally arrived. On Friday, June 3rd and Saturday, June 4th, the Spooktacular movie team will be at Monsterpalooza at the Pasadena Convention Center and will be holding a panel discussion about the film. David Bertolino, Quinn Monahan, and Anthony Landry, sidebar, they've all been on our show, you should go listen, will all be answering questions regarding the film and will be joined by some special surprise horror icons in the panel. Another sidebar, I know who those guests are, they're huge, and it's big. It's big. Very, very big, as they say.
I'm so happy for them. They deserve every bit of
absolutely.
this.
Every bit of the recognition they've been getting since they dropped this
met
news.
3 nicer guys.
Honestly,
They're
yeah.
awesome.
It's awesome. And, obviously this has been a long time coming for these guys. And just to hear about the fact that they're getting a premiere in Hollywood at a horror convention, it's so well-deserved. So well-deserved. And, again, I told Tony this, and we're very gracious to have received the invite to attend this premiere, but unfortunately it's just not in the cards for the three of us to be able to make it out there. And, God, I wish we could make it.
We will definitely
really
be there in spirit or in ghost or in
Right.
whatever form you want to.
Here's what I will say, and this is not anything that they haven't said in the comments of that Instagram post. Somebody wrote, hopefully you folks will be doing a screening in New England because Spooky World is part of our culture here. And let's see what our folks at Spooktacular movie wrote. As I type this from Massachusetts, I'd say your patience will be rewarded. You can bet your ball bag that we'll be at that one whenever that is announced.
They said ball bag?
Mike says
no.
ball
I'm
bag.
saying.
I was like,
I'm
"Is that
saying
ball
that.
bag?"
I'm saying that.
Bet your bottom ball bag.
Bet your bottom ball bag. So yeah, I couldn't be happier for our buddies over at Spooky World the movie. Well deserved. We love those guys. They're awesome people, and I know that this movie is going to knock people's socks off when it comes out. So yeah.
What if you were to say what if you didn't have socks? What would
What if
that
you were
Knock
wearing
your
flip
feet
flops?
off. Knock the bottom
Knock
of your
your
feet
nails
off.
off?
I don't really know.
Knock your stank off.
So Kat, knock your stank off. Very good.
I
Very
try to
good.
knock the stank off of myself every day and it fails. It's just stinks.
You just stank like bleach. It's okay.
It comes with
Generally-
it comes with the mullet.
Generally,
just the
what a
stank.
shower is for. Oh, so that actually. So yeah. So why don't you? Have we told the folks about you growing a mullet? Have we gone over this
I mean,
in
we
detail?
just did.
Yeah, kind of. Right, a little
A
bit.
couple times you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Never mind. Anywho.
Well, we can post about it on our Instagram page.
Yeah.
We'll
we
do
should,
a photo shoot
yeah,
tonight. That'll
photo
be fun.
shoot. Well, for Andrew.
Mullet and a mustache, baby.
I am not.
That should be my new Instagram page.
Mullet and a
Photo
mustache.
shoot.
Mount, mount.
Too bad. Hey, so guys, Outer Range again is still kicking some serious fucking ass, huh? Kat,
Yeah.
I know you hadn't watched any of it last time we recorded.
No, I've watched as much as everyone
You're
else.
So we're
a fan?
Oh,
Kat,
yeah.
Kat and I
Yeah.
are through the first 4 episodes. Andrew, you're through the first 3, correct?
Yes.
So, okay, so we can't talk about the first 4 because we're 1 ahead of you. But, Kat, what are your thoughts on the show so far through 4 episodes?
It's awesome. I feel like, honestly, it's kind of like a combination between, what did I say, Outsider and
Yellowstone?
Yellowstone. Yes.
I feel like
was
a lot
like,
of people
duh,
have said that.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
It is, though. It's got this supernatural element to it that you're not really sure, which is kind of like The Outsider, where you're trying to figure things out as they go. But then
Right.
it's heavy. I mean,
I get
heavy.
Signs vibes from it
That too, yeah.
because
But-
he's so anti-God. Like,
well, that hole
going into
is,
this
you don't know what the hole is.
thing.
And they're definitely, they're like ripping some of the language from True
From-
Detective.
yeah.
100%. Like, it's a combination of a lot of things, and it's really,
It's
really
a combination
fucking
of awesomeness.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's...
I feel like it's too early to talk about the show in depth because
Yeah.
it's pretty new. I mean, it's not even a month old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this
Well,
point, weeks.
I love that Amazon's been dropping 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it's done. That's how you
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, you know what Mike's going to say? He's going to say,
do. I haven't
check it out.
I haven't seen any of it,
I thought
but,
you were gonna a good little show. That's
but
what
I
was
heard
gonna-
I
Oh,
heard
a good little
that's
show.
what I
I,
said.
I
Check it
heard
out.
Ozark kind of fumbled the end of that.
Haven't
Ooh,
watched any of
we
it
haven't
yet.
watched the new one yet.
So this is what pisses me off is that
So
there's
much
no
TV.
good TV for so long, and then everything comes back at once. So you got Outer Range out now. Barry's back. Better Call Saul's back. Haven't watched any of Barry, any of Better Call Saul. Haven't watched any of the new Ozark. Just got word a few days ago that Love, Death, and Robots is coming back in a couple weeks for season 3. That show's fucking
okay.
awesome.
never saw any of
Love
that.
it. All awesome stuff. And then what's the other one that I just heard about? So I was listening to a podcast that I usually listen to. There was a show on Epix that was called From, and it's now the whole first season is streaming on Amazon Prime. That got a lot of good reviews, and it's now available to watch on Amazon Prime. So I want to check that one out
What's
too.
that
And
about?
Now, so I don't know a lot about it, which is kind of intentional. But what I've heard is
You
that
avoiding
it's
trailers now?
it's about like a town that sucks people in, and once you're in, you can't leave. And there's like a weird supernatural monster element to it. It's a lot of people seem to really
Are
like
there
it.
worms in it?
There's no worms, at least that I know of. There's no worms.
If there are, even better.
Even better. Even better. But yeah, lots of good TV out right now, and Outer Strange is still kicking.
Outer Range.
What did I say?
Outer Strange.
Outer Strange.
Outer Stranger
Outer
Things. They
Range.
should do like a mashup.
Maybe I'm getting that my tongue tied because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as of this recording, will be out today. So.
Do you watch those?
That's probably one of the few Marvel movies that I'm actually interested in seeing because apparently this one, the new one, is directed by Sam Raimi.
Oh, really?
It's they're calling it the most horror MCU movie ever made.
Well, I do like Benedict Cumberbatch in general.
Cumberbatch. What a wild name. But yeah, I've heard there's a lot of cool cameos in this, but I don't know a whole lot about it. So I would definitely check that movie out, but I'm probably not going to get to the theater to see it. I have too much going on, but we'll see.
Sure it'll
I
be
would
on
like
HBO
to.
Max in months.
So that actually would only be on Disney Plus because it's Marvel.
Oh, that's true.
HBO Max has all the DC shit.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Well.
But yeah, so Outer Range still kicking some serious ass. Outer Range, not Outer Doctor Strange. All right, and other TV news I have for you guys real quick.
Boy.
Hey, so one of our favorite shows from last year that we all enjoyed, and Andrew, you were talking about how it takes a lot for you to finish one season of a TV show with how quickly you lose interest. Mm-hmm. Yellowjackets Season 2 is aiming to film this summer for a potential 2023 release.
Wait, why does it take so long? Can we just move it on?
Right?
I want one every year.
I know. I want this show so
Maybe
bad.
it'll be like January 2023, because then that doesn't even count. That's less than a year away.
I think the article I read mentioned like early 2023.
Perfect.
Well, that would be good.
I need something to watch in the winter, so
Right.
that would be perfect.
Right,
Right.
everyone needs something to watch.
But apparently,
That's
it's
like
being it's being written, or it has been written, so it's well into development at this point. And I don't think they're going to call it this, but they're subtitling, like the writers are subtitling Season 2, The Winter of Their Discontent.
Oh, so it's got to be in the winter then.
So yeah, I think this is going to, because the last episode, if I remember correctly, it ended
What's her
with
face?
Jackie freezing to death.
Well, it makes sense.
So
that
it was
they're
starting to
filming it
get
during
cold.
the
So I
summer
think
then.
the whole flashback part of it is going to be like in the winter wherever
Right.
they are.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
the show starts and it's like that winter scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, I couldn't be more excited for another
show.
season of
What a
Yellowjackets.
show.
Phenomenal stuff. I can't believe we didn't do an episode on the end of season 1 of Yellowjackets.
Still can.
Maybe we can revisit it as we ramp up to
Season 2, do a little rewatch.
I would love to do a
Yeah.
rewatch on that. Yeah. And speaking of which, god damn it, we still have to rewatch Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things,
Stranger
I know,
Things
yeah.
comes out in a couple of weeks.
Stranger
Fuck.
Things,
I don't know how you're
Things.
going to do all this. How are you going to
I'm
watch
not-
that many episodes?
I'm
shows.
probably going to put Barry on the back burner.
Yeah.
Ozark, we're definitely going to watch because it's the end.
So we're just going to pretty much
God,
lock
I don't know.
ourselves up in our house for the next
Well,
2 months,
That's
maybe?
not a bad thing.
And,
Probably save us some money.
The world would enjoy that.
right.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
The world
Lock-
needs less me outside.
Hey, I mean, when there's too much stuff to watch, and not enough time to watch it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that means that we are on to our topic du jour.
Cat's pick of the week.
Cat's pick of the week.
Is it ever a cat pick?
Oh man, is
This
it
is
ever a
the
have pick?
epitome of a cat pick.
You asked.
Yeah.
You said you have
It's-
30
I don't-
minutes to pick.
Yeah.
You-
So
you came up
of
with
course,
the pick?
if you've seen the title of this episode, you know that we're talking about Happy Death Day, which is a 2017 horror movie that was released by Blumhouse.
It's definitely horror. How is
Yeah,
it not horror?
I'm joking. I'm being facetious.
Suspicious.
Yeah, so obviously, Kat, this was your pick, so I will defer to you first. And I feel like, honestly, I should just probably step aside here and mediate an hour-long argument between you two, because I feel like that would be the best content.
Ready?
That would be good
Let's
for
go.
everybody. So, Kat, the floor is yours. Talk to us about Happy Death Day, why you like it, why you picked it, and then I'm just going to let Andrew go right after you.
Okay. Clearly, it's a
You picked it in your 2010 draft, right? You
yes.
picked- okay.
Yes.
So there's a
because
reason you like this movie so much.
It is it's not a typical horror scary movie. Yes.
Typical horror scare movie.
It's like a nice movie with horror elements in it, and it's this girl. Am I doing like a little quick synopsis?
Yeah, her
No,
name's
no,
her
no,
name's
no.
Tree, by the way.
Her name's Tree, which we can address.
More on Tree in a little bit.
I like
Thoughts
her-
on the movie.
she
I'm
kind
assuming if you're listening to this, you've either seen Happy Death Day, you're aware of
Right.
it, or you don't care if we spoil it. So I don't need a plot summary. Tell me why you like the movie, what you like about it.
I like the main character because she kind of reminds me of Blake Lively.
Okay.
I kind of
can
like
see that.
I kind of like
Yep.
that because I like her.
Okay.
I like how she evolves as the movie goes on. So I like Tree. Besides her name, we can talk about the name later. But I like her. She's a nice part of the movie. Overall, the movie's nice because it's a good story about this girl. Like, I love final girls, that's kind of the woman, like, proud, girl power. So, I like her as a character. She's a great final girl, and I like her story throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
So, I like Happy Death Day because it's, without being a boo, scary horror movie, it's still slightly terrifying.
How is it slightly terrifying?
Because you're not really
in
sure
any
what's
way,
going
shape, or
on through
form?
most of the time.
There's nothing scary in this movie.
What do you mean nothing scary?
This movie is not scary.
As a girl, if you're walking home or walking to a party by yourself in a tunnel and there's some guy in a mask on the other side, that is scary.
That could be scary.
That is very scary.
But they didn't make it scary.
Right.
It was corny and...
The situations can be scary.
They can be, but it's all in the execution of it.
Right.
They didn't execute any of that.
I think that the
They didn't
tunnel
make
scene
this
was
movie
kinda
scary at all. The what?
I did jump when the guy was in the bathroom. When she went
That
to
was
go
a
look
jump
at
scare,
yes,
so
there was
you
one,
should jump.
I was like, ooh, that was the one time that I jumped.
Okay. All right.
But I like Happy Death Day. I think it's a nice little fun horror movie.
So okay, so I was going to ask, and that was one of the questions I had written down. What your thoughts were on Tree Gelbman, that's her name, as a final girl.
I love her. I think she's a great final girl. She meets all the requirements of a final girl. She evolves as a character throughout the whole thing, where she starts out as this bitch and then realizes how much of a bitch she is, and then becomes like a nice person.
I would
at the
say
end.
she does turn from a complete asshole into at least having some redeemable qualities
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Even to the point where she kills herself when she knows that Carter is now dead in one of the whatever you want to call it scenarios. When Carter dies,
a time loop scenario.
When she thinks that she killed the killer and that she was going to
She
survive
did
for the
kill
next day,
him. She
killed
could have
her-
killed the killer, or she killed. She could have killed him, but she
Yes.
elected to hang herself from the bell
to kill
tower
herself instead.
to save
save
Carter.
him.
That's really
which is a
nice
very
of her.
nice,
Selfless
something
thing.
that old Tree
Would not have
never
done.
have done.
No.
An older tree, yeah, for sure.
Right.
A sycamore.
A sycamore or a redwood or
Yeah.
anything
Yes.
like that. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So safe to say that you're a fan.
I'm a fan of Happy Death
Happy
Day,
Death
and I love
Day.
that song because it's my ringtone.
Yeah, I can.
That might be the
tell.
most annoying song I've ever heard of. my
It
entire
really,
life.
Well,
it,
And I think
And-
it's
really
intentional,
is.
obviously.
Of
but
course.
Well, yeah, because in less than a month, it's my birthday.
If you're hungover and that's playing, you're gonna stab somebody.
Oh my god.
Just
And she's always hungover.
Yes.
That's the scariest part of this movie. Waking up with a constant
I was
hangover.
going to say, do you have anything else you want to say pro Happy Death Day before Andrew unleashes his rage?
no, I want to see the rage. Let's go.
There's no. I mean, it's limited. Okay, so initial thoughts. I feel like this movie has like two halves. First half of this movie is this a Hulu movie? Because this had Hulu movie written all over it. It's not a Hulu. I
No,
know
it's a Blumhouse
It's
movie.
not.
Yeah.
But Blumhouse does a lot with Hulu, right?
They do.
They
They
do.
do, yeah.
And that's probably where that came
I think
from.
this
Well, you
came
know
out
why?
before Hulu was a
So
thing.
Blumhouse has kind of gained their reputation on lower budget horror movies.
Okay.
That have
This seems like
grossed-
an overproduced horror movie. It's overly shot. Like everything's too picture perfect. And to me, I like graininess in movies.
Right.
This is definitely a teen slasher movie, so I get why you love this movie.
Absolutely.
It's
That's
very
right up my
glossy.
alley.
It's very
Yeah.
glossy.
Yep,
The
yep.
sheen's there. The makeup's perfect. The kumalade or whatever the fuck they're called. They're all about it. You get the two, whatever. Couldn't have been more bored with this for like 45 minutes. I texted Mike like 20 minutes into this movie and I was like, I hate this movie so much. It was just, the music was corny. It wasn't scary. It was such a just hate teen slasher
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
And it was like, could this movie be any more garbage? But then something flipped about halfway through this movie, and I was so involved watching the last half of this movie that I was shocked
just to see
by
what
how
was
much
going on.
I enjoyed this movie.
Really?
I couldn't have hated this movie any more for the first half of it. And then Tree became so likable. Her development is almost similar to Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Obviously, this is a ripoff of
Yep,
Groundhog Day.
100%.
She develops, she blossoms into this like dogwood. The blossoms come out, and the story got interesting. I found it funny. I loved the little twist at the end, even though I knew Laurie was the murderer, like the killer from the very beginning of this.
did?
Did you
I
really?
knew it was Laurie from the second this movie started because she turned down her cupcake. I'm like, this bitch is pissed.
Right.
That you didn't take cupcake
Yeah.
or eat. And she was pissed.
Turns
And
out she
it
was.
Turns out that like by the time like her never thought watching the first half of this movie that I suddenly would start to enjoy it really, like, a lot. And I finished watching this movie and I was like, I like that movie.
Wow!
I give that movie
I am
solid B+ to that movie.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I was
flabbergasted.
absolutely shocked. And I was as flabbergasted as you are watching
I
this.
am agog at that.
Shocked. I was shocked.
What other old-timey shocked words can I use besides that? I was not expecting that.
And
Holy
I wasn't
fuck.
either. I was so bored with this movie that I was close to just fast-forwarding till something happened. And then just something clicked and it got legs and it was like...
It was when...
She was funny. As soon as she started to just change as a character, she was awesome. And Carter was... I liked Carter as the, love interest.
I liked him too. I thought he was good.
I thought he was good.
He was a good part of the
when
movie.
she dumps the chocolate milk on her head, like, she just changed. And it changed the whole movie when she sat down with her dad. Like, it was very, like, cheesy, but it was like, all right. And then, like, the whole thing with, like, the serial killer guy. And, like,
Yeah.
It just was very entertaining. I
Right.
found it to be extremely entertaining. By the end of that movie, I was like, I am glad I watched that movie.
Oh, I feel good about it.
And I was shocked. I was like, I finished watching that movie and I was like, there's no way I'm going to like this movie. And I was like, wow. Okay.
Look at this. I feel like that whole interaction is just a summary of the two of both of your friendship. The two of you just thinking like, oh my god, and they're like, oh yeah, that's all right. It's
I
pretty
think it
good.
was
I actually
really-
really liked it a lot.
It was really funny that, like, when she does, I was like, you probably changed your mind when she went out into the quad, like, naked. It's just like...
Not even that. It was basically like
Here I
her
am.
fucking to the professor, like her just whole change in
Yeah.
demeanor, and she just didn't give a shit when anyone...
Demeanor?
It was the same thing when, like, it was very similar to Groundhog Day when they're out eating and she just starts farting and burping.
Yeah.
And, like, that was like when Bill Murray's stuffing his face with the donuts at the coffee shop and he's like, telling her what's going to happen. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Groundhog Day is a good movie for a reason.
Yeah.
I did like at the very end, too, when they kind of brought up it. She's like, who's Bill Murray? And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
That's
absolutely
fitting.
the reaction that
and
she
that's
has.
fitting because
100%.
Yeah.
that's, no one's probably even seen that movie that watched this movie.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Michael? What are your thoughts
I was
on
going to
this
say, if
movie?
anyone does care what I think, this is a horror movie for teenagers, 100%. Here's what I'll say.
Especially people that are in, like, college or
Yeah.
high school.
And say what you will about PG-13 horror, but this is a PG-13 date night comedy horror hybrid that never aims to be scary, unless you're an easily scared person.
There was that one boo.
There was the one boo, sure, a jump scare. Like, I would have, I don't know if we've talked about this in the podcast before, Kat and I dated in high school. This is a movie that I would have taken you on a date to in, like, 8th grade or 9th
absolutely.
grade. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, this is a movie for middle school and early high school people.
Yeah.
This is a PG-13 movie for a reason. Like, it's not, like...
It's not supposed to be
Right.
over the top.
Right.
But with, with that being said, it's, like, nowhere near the top of my personal favorite list of horror movies, but it's also nowhere near the bottom. It's, like, not the worst horror movie I've ever seen by a long shot. And I think I'm just a big proponent for horror in any way, shape, or form. And horror fandom has to start somewhere, right? Like, you can't just jump right into immediately, like...
Did you just say you can't dump?
You can't dump. You can't
Unless
jump.
you're Amber Heard.
Yeah, Amber Heard can dump. You can't immediately jump right into, like, Hellraiser and Hereditary.
Right.
Like, you need to find a middle ground somewhere, right? And I feel like this is kind of like... If you're, like, a teenage girl or, like, a high school kid, like, this is a gateway horror movie in certain senses, right? Like, thanks, Otis. We appreciate your input. And I mean, if anything, like you said, Andrew, you already talked about this, but it's an interesting twist on the slasher formula, like Groundhog Day, but a slasher movie. Interesting concept. So the first time that I watched this, I had a good time with it. I feel like I liked it a little bit less on second viewing, I will say, because this was my second viewing of the movie last night. But yeah, not a horrible movie. I've had worse times watching horror movies, for sure. So, what did you think of... you kind of already went into it, but yeah. So, I mean, where would you rank Tree Gelbman in the pantheon of final girls for you?
She's somewhere in the middle. I mean, she was good.
Seems
I'd have
like
to,
you
see a list.
really liked her.
I think she did an excellent job. Like, just the whole concept of her just waking up in that same dorm room, hungover as fuck, and then just you see her just gradual transformation into someone that you can actually root for and not root against. Because initially you're like, I hate everything her.
I want her to die every time.
And then by the end, I also thought it was very cool that the injuries she did sustain during the deaths, it was actually having a physical effect on her, even though she was reliving the same day over and it had not happened yet, and she was actually getting more and more like injured by it, which made the fact that she hung herself for Carter even more. You know, she could have easily just killed him and then been like, whatever, it's just some stupid guy.
Right.
Which you probably should have just.
Yeah.
Would have made more sense, but it
But
wouldn't
she
have.
wanted to be with him.
Wouldn't have changed anything because she didn't kill Lori.
Right.
So it wouldn't have mattered. She still would have woke up.
Right.
In that same situation.
Right.
I love the end too when Lori
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
good. That was good.
shoves the cupcake in her stupid face.
The girl.
I don't know. You couldn't tell that she was like the bad person the whole time.
Not really.
I forget who I thought it was the first time I watched it. I think we saw this like right after it came out.
Yeah.
Because you really wanted to see it. So.
Well, I thought to myself, I was like, well, what if she apologized to Laurie and then she said, oh yeah, give me the cupcake, and then started eating it, and Laurie felt bad at that point if she had already apologized to her, saying, oh, I'm such a bitch, I'm going to be better, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end, she also says, well, you're sleeping with that guy.
Yeah, she was just a jealous. She was just a jealous bitch.
Yeah. And then she's like, you're going to kill me over this guy?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? Like, do you think he, like, loves you? Like, she was just
It was a
like,
satire too to that
Right,
point. Like it was
yeah.
basically like.
It is very satirical regarding like, you know, frat girls and
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
girls in older relationships with teachers. Because I feel like it hits on a lot of cliches.
Oh,
and that type of
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was going to say, so that actually was a very good point. What did you guys think of like the mechanics of like the days starting over? It didn't really, I feel like, go into a ton of detail as to why that was happening.
I was going to say that. It
That
doesn't-
happens in the sequel.
Right.
So
We didn't see the sequel.
we did see the sequel.
If
we
you've
did?
seen Groundhog Day, you know why it's.
Well,
Because
I would say
it's about evolving as a human being. There's really no reason why any of it's
the
going
sequel. We'll get into the sequel a little bit later.
It's probably wild.
It goes really sci-fi and weird with it.
I don't.
Okay.
We saw it.
We did see it
I don't
because the
remember.
only reason I saw it is because you wanted to see it.
Was it in the movie theater?
Nope, we saw it probably at home. I would think. Okay, yeah. So I would think walking out the casual viewer. That might have been one of the issues that or a nitpick, dare I say, that they may have had with the movie is that like it doesn't really explain. Like, okay, yeah, we get the killer. Why the time loop?
Well, there
Why does it keep
really
happening?
is no explanation for that. Like same thing. You watch Groundhog Day. There's no reason why this would
Right.
ever happen.
Right.
So you don't really walk into it with suspended belief to begin with.
But again, as you said, like the majority of the people that this movie is targeting probably have never even seen or heard of Groundhog Day.
But when you saw Groundhog Day the first time, you weren't like, well, why was it? I was just like, this is a funny movie, and I love Bill Murray.
Well, because I was a
Right.
kid too.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, oh, this is funny. I like
Yeah,
this movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you know,
and
I
think
could
of-
care less. It's a good premise
Right.
for a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You think of the target though, they're probably not going to think, "Why is this happening?" They're
Yeah, you're
just
talking
looking
about
at-
teenage
yeah.
girls.
Right.
They don't know what's going on.
They're making out in the back row.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not watching it.
true. That is true.
They're going to be like, maybe I shouldn't drink alcohol because this might happen to me.
Right.
You were
yeah.
making out during Schindler's List.
Yes. Necking.
Necking during Schindler's List. Newman.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing that. Oh,
well,
now I want to go.
now
rewatch
you can
it.
rewatch
More
it.
offensive
Yeah.
spectacle I cannot recall.
So, guys, in terms of 2017 horror movies, this is the second one that we've covered this year. Anyone have a guess? It's a random one that we covered this year.
Random.
Or technically, there's two answers. One we
answers.
kind of covered on an episode. So there's two. One we covered in Janthology.
I was like, can I peek? No.
XX?
XX is from 2017.
What's the kind of covered?
So when we did the review of Screens and Screams from Barrett's Haunted Mansion a couple years back, we saw a double feature of
It.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space and It. It also came out in 2017.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So here's some of the other movies that came out from this year. 1922, which is a Netflix exclusive Stephen King horror
pretty
movie
good.
with Thomas Jane. Pretty good. Alien Covenant. I have love for that movie.
I love
Awesome movie.
Alien.
Thought it was great. Anything Alien's great for me. Awesome. I know you correct.
What?
Okay.
There
There you go. Another Netflix exclusive that seems right up your alley that I don't know if you've seen. The Babysitter. Did you see that one?
Oh, I've seen that movie.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I haven't seen it.
It's, again,
Slasher?
another teen
Yeah,
slasher.
slasher.
I don't think so.
There's another movie that has been on my HBO Max queue for quite a while. It's a terrible title. I've heard it's really, really good. Is The Bye Bye Man?
Oh, I've seen that.
You've seen The
yeah.
Bye Bye
Yes.
Is that with Keanu Reeves?
Man? No, I don't think so.
It's good.
Or am I
It's
thinking
good.
there's
Yes.
another movie with him in it?
It's like pretty much about the boogeyman.
Okay.
It's scary.
The Boogedy Man.
So, okay, I really do want to watch that one now.
Oh
but
yeah, we
'cause
should
it's-
definitely
yeah.
watch it. It's definitely scary.
Yeah. Andrew, Creep 2 came out in 2017.
Good movie.
Not as good as the first one, but
No,
good.
but still solid.
The Cult of Chucky came out in neither have I.
I saw the
Never been a
Bride
big fan of the Chucky franchise.
I like the Chucky
I'm not a
movies.
part of that cult.
Neither am I.
Chucky movie.
Gerald's Game, another Netflix exclusive. That is a great movie from Mike Flanagan. You've seen this one, correct? Okay, you have not. I'm assuming it's really, really good.
That's a solid movie.
Yeah,
I
scary.
Like that movie.
Get Out came
Get
out in 2017. I mean, talk about a huge year for horror with Get Out and
horror
It. Oof, my God.
And Happy Death Day.
Yeah, Get Out is one of those movies that we haven't covered on the show yet. I mean, I think we've talked a lot about our love for Jordan Peele. Get Out's just one of those movies that I feel like was just lightning in a bottle. It was so good and so weird and so strange and so talked about. It's we'll get to it eventually. We also got aside from Spiral from the Book of Saw, the most recent Saw sequel in 2017 called Jigsaw, which I have never seen.
Yeah, we didn't see. Yeah. Huh.
I lost interest after about the first three. So,
Yeah.
But, obviously, go back and listen to our review of Spiral, because that movie was good. Chris Rock, what's up? Not too much. Chris Rock hasn't said too much about getting slapped in the face by Will Smith, has he?
He's taking
Oh
the
my
high
God!
ground. He's
Can we
taking the high
please stop
ground.
talking about
Yeah, right?
that?
He's taking the high ground. Good for
Taking the
him.
high ground, I guess.
I like how I'll say one thing. I like how when he opened up at Boston, like the weekend after, it was like, "So, how was your weekend?" like just opening up with that, like just laughing about it.
Well, that probably wasn't
That's all
part of
you
his
can do.
routine. You're doing your comedy routine. Like,
Right.
You're not
Yeah.
planning on that happening.
Exactly.
You're talking about it.
Right.
You want to just get into business. And
Yeah.
Andrew
time.
and Catherine, another 2017 horror movie that came out was Mother.
Oh yeah, that was.
Which
a
I
messed
know,
up. I
we-
remember saw. Yeah.
We talked a lot about that in the 2010 horror movie draft with Audette because he picked it. This was not one that I enjoyed very much. I know you guys
I
both liked it
fucking
way
love
more than
Mother.
me.
I liked
Audette
it.
loved it. I'm in the minority. so.
Yeah.
I don't
I-
consider that a horror movie, but I love it.
It's a fucked up movie. That's for
I
sure.
forgot about that
movie's
movie.
just fucked up.
Yeah, I like Jennifer Lawrence.
Also in 2017, we got the sequel to The Ring called Rings. I have not
I
seen
didn't
it.
see that
You didn't
either.
How have you
No.
not seen it?
I
The Ring is
know.
one of your favorite movies, and I
Well,
can't
the Ring
believe.
original is movies, but not all.
Well, it's not even the Ring
The
original.
original?
the Ringle.
So the Ring
I have it on just.
is a remake of Ringu, which is from Japan. So
Oh, I haven't seen it either. I've heard Ringu is better than
Ringu
the
is
Ring.
better.
They
It's
usually
scarier.
are.
Yeah,
The
it's way
Asian versions
scarier.
are usually better.
Yeah.
Andrew, The Killing of a Sacred Deer came out in
very good
2017.
movie.
Good movie with our boy Barry Keoghan, who plays Joker in the deleted scene in The Batman, and Colin Farrell, who I love.
Who's excellent. Plays the penguin.
Yep, the Penguin and the Batman. One of my favorites, The Ritual, came out in 2017.
Yeah, that's a really
that
good
movie
movie.
fucking rocks. You also get, obviously we mentioned XX, but also Tigers Are Not Afraid.
I never
which is
saw that.
streaming on Shudder right now. It's a Mexican horror movie. And I forget her name. Her first name is Issa, I believe. She directed this movie. She's from Mexico, and she is the one that's linked to the new season of True Detective as one of the directors.
Oh.
So very intriguing to see what she may do with that. And that, my friends, was the year 2017 in horror movie. How about
So I have a question. If we're
Sure.
talking going back to the genre,
that? Hopefully I have an answer. Go ahead.
what were you guys' favorite way that she was?
I liked when she was lit on fire in the police car, personally.
That was pretty cool.
That was good.
I liked when she got stabbed in the neck with.
That was a good one, too. Yeah. Any kill involving a bong is okay with me.
I kind of like how she got killed by the cupcake because she didn't remember getting killed by the cupcake until
That's
she.
the weakest kill in the
Really?
whole movie. The poison kill by the cupcake. She
All right,
didn't even
well,
realize
maybe-
what
That
happened.
that was like a scene from like 16 Candles, except with a poisoned cupcake.
Well, okay, then
So
I'd
more
say,
on 16 Candles in a little bit. But
I'd
yeah,
say
go
then
ahead.
also when she hung herself, that was pretty bad. But also when she
one.
got
How many times? How many? So also. So you're gonna name like half of the kills. So fail.
I liked
no
a lot
more.
of the kills for different reasons. Well, when she got her stabbed in the head when she was in her room and you saw the knife go through.
This is essentially a bloodless movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Again, PG-13.
Not a lot of blood.
No blood, no gore.
Very
you don't see the
limited.
knife going in at all.
Yeah.
You see more chocolate milk than you would.
That's 100% correct.
Yeah.
Accurate.
That's actually, yeah.
All right.
Because that's like 3 times that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how many times she does die in this movie. I don't have that in my facts, but
Oh, I
maybe we
can
can
look
look
it
it
up.
up.
It's got to be
Okay.
like 8.
While Kat's looking this up,
More.
let's pause for a quick word from our sponsors. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
It's official. The critics' decision is in.
Spooky World is spooktacular.
Enter the new black hole.
If you dare.
Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park, Spooky World.
Don't be scared. I'm the super sweet monster with the super sweet new cereal, Count Chocula.
Biffle, here's the super sweet new cereal, Frankenberry.
But I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor.
Well, I've got berry-flavored sweeties for monster strawberry flavor.
Count Chocula.
Frankenberry.
Hi.
Frankenberry.
Count Chocula.
Sleepy Clovers.
It's alive! It's alive!
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's a killer this year. Then be next door to the Abington Ale House. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
And we're back!
Yay!
Thanks again for those words
Did you
from
miss
our
us?
sponsors. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about Happy Death Day to you.
And Tree.
Not to you, the original Happy Death Day. So yeah, Happy Death Day, by the by, grossed 55.7 million in the United States and Canada, and 69.8 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $125.5 million, which was against a production budget of $4.8 million. So safe to say, this movie made a lot of money for Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild. And again, that's what Blumhouse is known for, is for making those low-budget, low-production cost horror movies.
You gotta think, no-name actors, actresses, really,
Yeah.
in reality.
Right.
I didn't know any of the actors.
I didn't.
No.
No real, special effects. I mean, there were some, but it wasn't, crazy.
Yeah. But obviously, this isn't as popular as some of these other Blumhouse movies, but, Blumhouse is responsible for, the Purge franchise.
I can't stand
the
those
Insidious movies.
You don't like the Purge
I
movies?
hate the Purge. I think they're so
love the
stupid and
Purge
annoying.
movies.
Lots of other ones, too.
And I love Insidious.
I think Blumhouse was also responsible for Don't Breathe. Probably a bunch of other horror movies that we don't even, that are not even coming to my mind right now.
Don't Breathe is...
That's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So this movie is written and directed by a guy named Christopher Landon, who was previously known for movies like Disturbia, another Shia LaBeouf movie. Shout out to Shia LaBeouf for second time in 3 weeks.
Similar to, ever see Rear Window?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
It's like a remake of that.
Very much similar to Rear Window. He also wrote a bunch of the Paranormal Activity sequels, and he also wrote and directed 2020's Freaky with Vince Vaughn.
See, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, which is on our DVR, but we haven't
I'm
watched
not
it.
surprised by that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie, but that just fits.
Yeah,
With
of course,
the
doesn't it?
teenage remake of a certain type of movie, taking a comedy movie and turning it into a dark comedy, because that's what this movie is. It's a murder mystery. It's not a horror movie.
No. Yeah.
There is nothing horror about this movie.
I
Nothing
mean,
in this movie is remotely scary.
If you go to Blockbuster, it's an
Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore. So I don't even think the word Blockbuster exists anymore, right?
Right.
Is that
right. There's no more
right?
Blockbusters.
No? Have you ever been to a Blockbuster in your life?
Yeah, there was one in Hyde Park right down the street from my house.
In Milton?
No, it was in Hyde Park.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So most of the games and movies were stolen.
Correct.
Yikes. Ooh,
And no one
fired
ever
across the
rewound
bow.
anything.
Yeah. Nobody was kind and rewinded. Or nobody was kind and did the rewind.
No, and then there was another.
You ever seen that movie, Be Kind, Rewind?
I have,
That
actually.
movie's awesome.
A long time ago.
I love that movie. Jack Black and...
What's his name? The guy from Wu-Tang. What
Mos
is
Def.
his name? Mos Def. Yep.
Not from Wu-Tang.
Not Wu-Tang. He's a rapper of some
Yeah.
sort. Sorry.
Yeah,
That movie's so
I
good.
don't know why I thought it was RZA from Wu-Tang. That
That would be weird.
Really strange. Working title for Happy Death Day was called Half to Death, by the way. So it wasn't originally called Happy Death
That
Day.
would have been an awful name for a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Happy Death Day is a better title.
Well, it's her
way
birthday,
better.
and it's not her birthday, it's her death day. So
Right.
It makes perfect sense.
Makes way more sense.
What do you guys think of the mask in this movie for the first?
No, I didn't like that. All the horror elements of this movie, I didn't like. But I did like the movie. Like it just those things like it. That's why there was nothing horror about it. It was just a corny, cheesy slasher, but it had much better elements
Right.
than most of those types.
So, is the college mascot like baby?
The baby.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what the Bayside Babies. Is that what they are?
Apparently.
Because isn't it Bayside? It's Bayside, right?
Bayside. Yep.
So Bayside Babies,
Is that really?
which is,
really?
I mean, could you imagine that being your alma mater?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is kind of
I'm like,
strange. It's kind of strange. The reason I ask is that the mask for this movie was actually constructed by a guy named Tony Gardner, who was the same guy that designed the Ghostface mask for Scream.
Oh.
Same guy.
I was gonna say, has this mask been used anywhere else? Because I feel like it looks
Maybe
like...
in like Spirit Halloweens across the country.
It looks like the
Yeah.
baby that smokes cigars in like
Oh,
Tiny Toons.
Or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the baby.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has, like,
yeah.
tiny, that's what it was. That's where I get it. There it
Not
is.
Boss Baby. Boss Baby's the...
Boss Babies.
Hey there, babe.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh god, I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Such a great movie. But yeah, so basically the design for this guy Tony Gardner, or I guess Landon, what's the guy's first name? I completely forget. Christopher Landon was personal. This is a quote from him. During pre-production, I was expecting my first son. I don't know if I had just had babies in the brain or if I was subconsciously scared to become a father, but that baby image was floating around in my head. Tony, who was the guy that designed the mask, made us a pig mask. But when I wore the baby mask in my office, I scared a coworker, and we thought, yeah, this is it, the one. I was also not crazy about the mask.
Now, if the movie was scary, then that mask probably would have worked better.
I think so.
Because a baby murdering you, that's kind of scary.
Like, if you made this R-rated...
But this movie wasn't scary, so that it loses the effect. It fits the movie that it's in.
Right.
Which is fine. I'm fine with that.
How much better do you guys think this movie could have been if it was rated R versus PG-13?
Oh, it could have been a hell of a lot better because, I liked the movie. So, if it was R-rated, it would have been even better.
It would have been a lot more blood and gore. Absolutely.
Right, which doesn't necessarily make a better movie, but I feel like for a horror fan, it would have been better in that.
Right.
It could have been more of a horror movie if it was R-rated, I think.
If it was an R-rated movie, there would be boobs and blood.
Yeah, they probably would have shown the
My two favorite B's.
boobs and blood.
That's literally
the
what
three
there would
B's
have
of
been.
horror: boobs, blood,
Boogers.
snots, worms. Like gross stuff.
Worms. Worms and
Worms.
boogers?
We're not-
No.
talking about
Boogers. Boogers stands for just gross.
Okay.
Like snots, gross, worms, like
Pus.
pustules.
Ugh.
Yikes. Okay. Speaking of boobs, the scene where Tree walks through the campus quad naked had to be done quickly given that it was being filmed on an active college campus, which that campus was Loyola of New Orleans. Oh my God. Nolans. This presented the risk of students witnessing the scene being filmed and or taking photos of this nude actress, obviously an issue for her.
Well, yeah.
So the crew took extreme precautions to clear away any potential onlookers, and in the end they managed to do just 2 to 3 takes to get the shot that they wanted.
Question. Mm-hmm. Couldn't you have done that same scene without her being nude? Because you're just showing her neck and up, basically.
Right, so they could have put like one of those...
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's a lot of scenes that are shot with just those bras and yeah, whatever.
So maybe they consider that nude?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
You could have done it without it being...
Right.
There's clips on YouTube that says going outside nude Happy Death Day on YouTube. Like scenes.
Oh, really?
We should look at them after.
Oh, you want to see her nude?
Tree walking naked nude scene explained.
I wouldn't be
spoilers.
opposed to it.
That'd be
Oh,
funny.
God. All right, so we mentioned Scream before, by the way. Miss Kat's watching this nude scene. So Scream itself was name-dropped by director Christopher Landon as one of the movies that was listed as an influence for this movie, along with Halloween, obviously Groundhog Day, which we already talked about, and then other comedies of the 1980s such as 16 Candles and Back to the Future, given as he aimed to make a quote-unquote fun, silly horror movie. So Landon also aimed to emulate the protagonist's personal growth in Groundhog Day to comment on, quote-unquote, this age of social media and all the crappy things that kids do to each other online, which I feel like, Andrew, you talked about.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job with that. I could not have been more impressed with her development. She sat down with her father. She had a real conversation with him. Kids nowadays, that's not happening.
Nope.
They never do that. And maybe this will be an inspiration for them to actually hash out their problems in real time instead of letting them fester until your roommate tries to kill you with a fucking cupcake.
Right.
So this is a good cautionary tale.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Be nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Be kind. Be
Yeah.
Ryan.
And also, last fact I have for you guys, filming at the previously mentioned Loyola University in Nolens lasted about 5 weeks.
Did they film the whole movie there?
Apparently most of it,
This
yeah.
doesn't seem like this. But
Maybe,
then again,
maybe the exterior, I would say, so
just
if
looks
it
like a college
lasted
campus.
5 weeks, they had to have shot most of it there.
Yeah.
I just was expecting more swamp.
Well, it's not a swampy movie.
What college did your cousin go to in New Orleans?
Tulane.
Tulane. I was going to say this. Okay, I knew there's a couple
The
colleges
Pelicans.
there. Yeah, I didn't know if she went to Loyola or Tulane.
They're the Pelicans, aren't they?
Pelicans.
They're not the babies. I know that.
The babies.
Not the Bayville Babies. Which
They're
can we,
definitely
have
not
we
the
looked
Babies.
into this? Do we know what the name of that? Is it the Bayville Babies or the whatever? it is?
I'll look it up.
I believe
it
it
is.
is.
By the way, Tree got killed 11 times.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, you looked that up when we were on break with a word from our sponsors. So, yeah, 11 times. I feel like that's a good amount.
Yeah.
Good
She
amount.
had like
for
11 rings, like a tree.
Yeah.
Blossom.
The Bayfield University Babies.
So
Bayfield
that is the name of
University
the
Babies.
What a stupid name for college.
Let's go, babies.
Hey baby, hey
Let's go,
baby,
babies.
let's go babies. I mean, that's what babies do.
There was one, I know we kind of don't really do we're not as rigid with our categories as we usually used to be, which I kind of like this new format that we're doing, by the way. Hopefully you listeners do
a lot more
as
organic.
well. A lot more organic, a lot nicer of a flow, if you will. I did have one favorite quote, which, was funny, but also was one of the true assholes in the movie making fun of people when... Oh my God, who was the frat girl cat? The one that...
Danielle,
the one that always
yeah.
talked to her.
Bitch.
Oh, she was the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And when Tree's kind of like on cloud nine and not listening, and basically she's like, wait, I'm sorry, what? And she says, when are you going to the party?
Oh,
Yeah.
That made me laugh
That's
out loud.
a little not PC.
Even though it's not PC and pretty funny. That was, even though it's not PC and not okay, it did make me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was kind of funny. If you didn't laugh, we obviously don't endorse that, but it was
No.
funny. Anywho, I know we talked a little bit about some of the deaths already.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any kills that we didn't already talk about that you guys want to mention?
Cat named like 8 of them.
Yeah, you named a bunch. We might have talked about all 11 already. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I
mean,
think we
some
talked
of
about
them
all the
happen-
relevant ones. A lot of them were just real quick, just to get.
Yeah,
You
some
don't
of them
have to
just
say
happen
It
something.
was like the same way in
fast.
Groundhog Day when he jumps on thing, bang, he's dead.
They
Yeah,
drown her in
it's-
like the fountain, right?
You don't have to say something. Just say something. I was just
No,
asking.
you can just
that's
say
fine.
you can just say moving on.
Yeah. we can
Moving
say-
on.
No, moving on. Okay, fair enough.
Next category, Alex.
Fair enough. Any other major nitpicks besides the one that I kind of already talked about, where it doesn't really necessarily explain like why the time loop is happening? Anything else that you?
I have no nitpicks with this movie because
I
it
can't
was.
believe that. That's insane to
what
me.
it was-
I thought you were going to hate this movie so much.
I thought I was too, and I
Again,
did.
You were ready to hate it.
I hated half of this movie,
flabbergasted.
but the
and
other half
gog.
of this movie made up for it in. Like I started, like I was laying on my couch watching this, contemplating just fast forwarding, and then all of a sudden I just started just perking up a little bit more and more, and I don't know what the fuck happened,
love it.
and I don't understand it. But I finished watching this movie, and I was like enjoying the entire
movie.
and in this movie, I was like, wow, I never thought a movie could change so fast, and I wanted nothing more than to hate the fuck out of this movie, which makes it even more amazing that I liked it because I went into it hating it even so.
I love it.
So
I love it. It
Okay.
makes me so happy.
it's amazing. I'm shocked.
It's amazing.
I'm shocked.
Wow. So I just want to, for the record, we have an Andrew pick last week that Kat really liked.
Yeah.
And we have a Kat pick this week that
Andrew,
really liked.
what is happening?
Holy
The world, it's the end of the world.
Hell's
It's
freezing
happening.
over.
Yeah,
Pigs
exactly.
are flying everywhere. What's going on?
Oh my God. What would you guys think about Happy Death Day as a haunted attraction?
Oh, you could absolutely do it as a attraction.
What
I
if
mean,
I
there's-
told you that it
is
already
one.
happened?
Oh, really?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Where did it happen?
It happened at our old friend where Andrew, I don't know if we've talked about this in the podcast.
Might be going.
I know it's not set in stone anymore.
Nothing's ever set in stone.
So Andrew might be going to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando.
Really? Oh.
I just don't want. It's another thing where I don't want to go for 2 days.
Andrew, it's 100%
Oh
worth
my
it. You
God,
need to go.
go.
I mean, it's a cheap enough flight down to
if
Florida.
if you have the opportunity to go for me.
I mean, I could just go for
please.
myself if I want.
You
I don't have to go with anybody.
Yeah, you don't.
Just go. I
no,
have no friends.
go.
I don't need them.
So fun.
But anyway,
You guys are
All that
co-hosts.
stuff.
So
That's true. So Happy Death Day was featured at Halloween Horror Nights 28, which was in 2018 in Orlando, Florida, at Universal Studios, Florida, in a haunted house that was called The Horrors of Blumhouse, which was a mashup house between Happy Death Day and The First Purge.
Oh, cool.
was
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it was unfortunately the worst received house of the event because the mashup house, it was like I guess the transitions were very rigid.
Yeah.
It was just Purge, Happy Death, and I guess it was mostly the Purge.
Well, it would probably just be like...
Yeah. It was the Purge mixed with some baby masks, essentially,
Right.
and some set pieces from Happy Death Day. But also, actually, an awesome year that year at Halloween Horror Nights. It was featured alongside houses that were based on Stranger Things, Trick or Treat, Poltergeist, Halloween 4. So good stuff. Also a scare zone based on Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is pretty cool. All right. So finally, before we wrap this up, put a bow on it, call it a night. Normally, this is where I would ask if this movie is deserving of a sequel, but as we already mentioned, there is one, with potentially another one on the way.
Really?
Yep. So there is a sequel that actually, Andrew, I'm not bullshitting you, which if you listen to the show, you know the three of us are Seinfeld fans. You may recall an episode of Seinfeld where Elaine comes up with an idea for a shop that sells muffin tops, and it's called Top of the Muffin to You, with an exclamation point. This movie is called Happy Death Day to You, which we like to say, Happy Death Day to You! That's way funnier to say it that way.
Happy Death Day to you!
Yeah, so we did watch this movie, Catherine. I know you don't remember it. I
It's a
vaguely
long time
remember
ago.
it. All I can say is that it takes it in a very sci-fi direction.
That's probably why I don't remember it, because I probably didn't really like it.
There's a device on the university campus that may be a time travel device that may or may not have something to do with the plot of the movie.
Perhaps that professor was actually experimenting on
Yeah,
her
I don't remember all
trying
the
to do that.
details,
Yeah.
but it does
That's-
have something to do with that. So there is a second movie called Happy Death Day to You, and it's Happy Death Day, the number 2, the letter U, back to back.
I'll have to rewatch it.
There also is a third movie in development that is potentially going to be called Happy Death Day to Us. And the latest update that I was able to find was that in September of 2020, Christopher Landon, the director of the first movie, confirmed that a third film, as I said, Happy Death Day to Us, was in active development with Jessica Roth is the name of Tree, that actress, reprising her role. And in November 2020, Landon stated that the script was ready to go and was awaiting approval from Universal Studios. So we very well may see a third movie in this franchise.
Wow.
Happy Death Day to Us!
That's
Never
cool. I
know.
have no desire to watch any other ones. It's a sequel, like...
You don't need a sequel to it, I don't think. But
The sequel was definitely not as good. It was okay. It was fine. Like, again, I don't remember a lot about it, so that kind of says a lot. And I kind of remember everything about a lot of movies, and I feel like that...
it wasn't memorable.
No, not to me. Okay, guys, any final thoughts on Happy Death Day? I was not expecting this type of episode. I figured that you guys would be yelling at each other halfway through this, to be
I
honest with you. I'm
know.
kind
It
of
would have
shocked.
been more fun, but
I mean, yeah, I feel like this didn't make us for as
Like,
interesting of a
oh,
podcast as I thought it was going
that's
to be. I thought
okay.
for sure that there was going to be some, I can't believe you made me
Fireworks.
watch this movie, and you have terrible taste in movies, and blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
all
yeah.
that. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But
Yeah.
it didn't happen. So I'm happy to see you guys find a
Happy balance.
a happy Death Day medium. A
Right.
Happy Death Day balance.
there's someone...
How about that?
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I kind of want to watch the sequel again. I feel like I didn't like it, but
You don't remember it, so how could you
No.
tell? You
I
don't know.
I bet if I saw like a few of it, I'd be like, oh.
Maybe.
But I'm
I
happy
guarantee you we'd watch the first 15 minutes and you'd be like, I've seen this movie.
Yes,
I know this
absolutely,
movie.
absolutely.
100%.
Well, I'm very happy that Andrew enjoyed it too. Didn't waste 2 hours of his life watching it. So that's
Only
good.
wasted 45 minutes, because like I said before, the first 45 minutes still stink.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not moving on that.
All right.
But the last 45 minutes of the movie make up for it twofold.
Fair
Good.
enough. At least you're honest about it. I can
There.
appreciate that.
What do you think, Mike? Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's a passable movie. Like I said, I think it's not one of my personal favorites, but it's by far not the worst horror movie I've ever seen. I like it. It's a passable, fun Friday night. You've had a couple of drinks. Maybe you popped an edible horror movie that you can enjoy yourself watching.
Yeah, I'm not going out of my way to watch
No.
this movie, but I'm also saying if you're just looking for something that you can throw on, kind of pay attention to, lighthearted,
Have a fun time.
dark comedy,
Yeah.
you can watch it with the kids. perfect for that.
Also,
although again, I don't know if you really want your kids watching this unless they're like it's a kind of there's some.
Also, dare I say, would make a good double feature with Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you want to see the evolution. I mean, Groundhog Day.
Watch Groundhog
awesome
Day
film.
first. Way better movie, obviously. I'm not disputing that. But watch Groundhog Day and watch this movie back to back. And
it's extremely similar. It's amazing. And I know that they mention that even in the description of the movie. So they full on know what they're doing.
Oh, I don't think
which
there was
is more
any.
than fine.
I don't think they were trying to hide that in any way,
I mean,
shape, or form.
If you did, it would just be disingenuous.
No, definitely not. Yeah, of course. Extremely disingenuous. A good way of putting it. Oh my God! Go away!
I don't ever need that.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Here's where you can listen to our show. Hey, guess what? You can listen to it wherever you're listening to it right now, listener. We're also on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, and wherever else you may get your podcasts. I've been joined by the whiny-ass spooky hound dog who's upstairs crying. I've also been joined by my usual co-hosts, Kat and Andrew. You guys, say goodbye to your listeners. Or say Happy Death Day to you, to your listener.
Goodbye, Death Day. Happy to you!
Good evening.
Yeah, happy birthday to me in less than a month. Yay.
It's not your birthday yet. Go
Almost.
away.
Still have a month.
Almost.
No,
less than
That's
that.
not even close to your birthday.
Less than that.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. That's right, the Inebriart Podcast Network, folks. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.